Hello, everyone. Hello, my friends. I am Advay Pandita, and today I am on my channel with the lecture for a class 8, and the lecture is presented by Advay Pandita, which is me. Please subscribe the channel Shiksha Alya, which is my channel. So it is based on the both old and new NCRT, and the chapter itself is too based on the old and new NCRT. So the chapter which we are gonna talk about in this whole video is cell, the unit of life. So yeah, what is cell? We are gonna have a discussion on what is cell. So I will write topics to be covered. So there are gonna be some topics which we are gonna cover. So first one is cell introduction. Introduction. Second is cell function. Functions. Third one is cell organs. Cell has some functions, cell has some organs. Fourth one is cell division. Cell divides. Say yeah, cell divides when it is not properly functioning. There are several reasons for this. So we are gonna discuss them. The fifth one is cell introduction, cell function, cell organ, cell division, and cell story, which is basically gonna be the name of some scientists. Names of scientists which discovered cell or have a discussion on had a discussion of cell. So yeah, in today's video we are gonna be have an introduction of cell. We are gonna have an introduction of cell. So let's begin with this. Okay, cell introduction. Cell introduction. Very good. Very good. Be attentive. Please be attentive because this video is gonna be super helpful to you. Super helpful. Okay, so cell introduction. What is cell? Cell, we can get the smallest basic and fundamental unit of life is known as or is called cell. Is called cell. Okay, is called cell. Yes, dear friends, this is called a cell. Now, why the cell is called the smallest basic and the fundamental unit of life? Okay, so we are gonna have a discussion on this now. Smallest, as even if I talk about the microorganism organism, there were two types of microorganism. One was unicellular cellular number on the basis of number unicellular, and one was unicellular and multicellular. So if I talk about the unicellular, it was only for one cell. It was only made up of one cell. So it is so damn small, it is so damn micro, like it is only seen through a microscope. And if it is made up only one cell, then how small the cell it would be, as it is the smallest one, as it is the smallest one. Now if I talk about the cell, why it is known as a basic unit of life. Basic, it's not the acid basis and salts one, but it is basic. Why it is basic? Because nothing is smaller than this. Nothing is like much such an advanced body and such an advanced thing is in our body than a cell. Like it has organs, it divides, it has all the advanced functions which can be so much difficult to have have a practical in a lab. So Basic it is, it because why it is a basic, because it has all properties of advancement. It's plus advancement keys are actually properties. It has all the properties of the advancement. Now, what is the fundamental unit of life? The fundamental cell, the fundamental unit of life, the most important thing about the introduction of the cell. Fundamental. Why? It is why fundamental. Why fundamental? Why fundamental? Because it performs all the process. It performs all the process like respiration. Respiration. This is a process useful, or I can say, for human. Basically, for human. So another process are there. Process. Another process is like we can say cell division. Cell division. Okay. Cell formation. Cell formation. Okay. Cell formation. That is too useful. Sometimes that is useful. Sometimes that is not. So that is not. But it is for cell. For cell as well as for humans. But yeah, and there at that point we just only have the process for humans. But here we have the process for cell as well as the humans. Okay, now it is fundamental unit of life. We got to know this. So now we can recall by the cell. If I talk about what we had today in this video, so the cell introduction. I will repeat, the repeat session will be there now. Cell is the smallest, basic, and the fundamental unit of life, is known as, yeah, is called cell. The smallest, basic, and the fundamental unit of life is known as and is called as cell. Why it is smallest? Because if I talk about the microorganism, they are categorized into two as per the numbers of cells in a organism, that is unicellular and the multicellular. And if I talk about the unicellular ones, the unicellular one were only having a single cell, that is only one cell. So how small that cell would be if a unicellular, and if even though a multicellular organism is to observed by a microscope only, and if I talk about the unicellular, which is only a one cell organism, is how small it would be. So it is the smallest unit of life. Why it is a basic unit of life? It is basic because it is called, it has all the properties of advancement. Like nothing in the body is such advanced, even being of this much small, has such advanced features in it. Like the cell has all the features which a body needs to function. It provides this, it has respiration, excretion, all the system, all the things are made up of this. If I talk about the cell organization, I can recognize the cell. When the cells come together, they make a tissue. When the tissues come together, they make an organ. When an organ comes together, when many organisms comes together, they make an organ system. And when a organ system comes together, that when some organ system comes there, they are responsible for making a organism. Now why it is called the fundamental unit of life? Because it does all the process. It has many processes, useful as well as unuseful, non-useful. So the if I talk about the useful processes, most of the process which can be discussed as per the cell is concerned on that topic, the process is are useful. So as it can do a respiration, when we can recognize that, sorry, the HB, that is hemoglobin plus O2 comes to cell, and that Hb plus O2 comes to cell, that comes to mitochondria, which is a cell organelle. Mitochondria, Hb plus O2 comes to cell, which basically goes to there, and there it produce ATP, which is a form of energy. That is so. Through this point, we can also see that the cell is also responsible for generation of the energy. It is the energy which we are gonna deeply study in the mitochondrial part of the cell organelle. So it ATP plus CO2, and then as a respiration cycle, the CO2 now the O2 stays and is used by the cell and the mitochondria, and the CO2 combines with Hb plus CO2, and that releases out from our body to the alveoli in the lungs. Okay, that is to a semi-permeable membrane. So the HbCO2 gets the exhaled, and the Hb remains in the body only in the RBCs. Um, in the RBCs only, and yeah, then we inhales, again the process same happen. Now the cell division, we have two types of cell division there, mitosis and meiosis. We will be discussing them in the coming video lectures when the term will be concerned. So if I talk about for cell and human, so as respiration is so damn important for humans, as because without respiration, that's inhaling and exhaling, we can't live. And if I talk about the cell division means mitochondria. Like if a cell is infected, a cell is divided and is consumed by another cell for as their food for that is useful, as the cell gets energy, and they are not that much, they didn't get that much weak. And if I talk about now height is for human, the humans would not, if the cell is not divided, the affected cell will the infected cell will affect another cell, and slowly the cell will, when many cells will affected, by many cells will infected, they will have a tissue damage, and then an organ, and then organ system, and then an organism damage, and that can lead to death if it is didn't control even in excessive amounts. So it is basically useful for both human, for cell, because cells would destroy, and the process of respiration, we can say it is useful for humans. So this was for all for today's video. Make sure you subscribe, Shiksha earlier, and please stay tuned. Please subscribe, please like in all of my videos. You can also go and check my channel, which is Advi Pandita on the YouTube. So please guys, subscribe. I am again requesting you, and yeah, you will be getting such interested videos on my YouTube, this on only this YouTube channel. Thank you, and have a nice day.